Money FM 89.3, the best of the afternoon update. The afternoon update with Lynlee Foo.
Very good afternoon to you. We're starting today's segment with Good Tech, where technology meets humanity. Here's something to think about. According to Singapore's Family Trends Report 2025, the number of elderly people living alone has more than doubled from about 42,100 in 2014 to roughly 87,200 in 2024. That's tens of thousands of seniors choosing to live independently, but also potentially vulnerable if something goes wrong. So how do you keep your elderly parent or grandparent safe without intruding on their privacy or watching their every move? That's the problem Birdhouse set out to solve. It's a small motion sensor with a big heart. And here to tell us more about it and where the idea is headed is Carlos Chacon, one of its creators. Carlos, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Now let's start at the very beginning. What motivated your team to create Birdhouse, especially in the light of trends showing more and more seniors living alone? What was the gap you wanted to fill?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, right, in Singapore there is more and more seniors living alone, and many of them feel like vulnerable and many times worried about their well-being. And this is not only their concern, but also the caregivers. Mm-hmm. At the same time, in Singapore, like we have limited resources, right? We cannot go and take care of them and visit them every single time. So the idea with Birdhouse is that we use motion sensors and AI to keep an eye on the seniors, make sure that they are safe, while they still keep their independence, living in their own home.
Okay. Really sounds like you tapped into a very real need, that balance between safety and independence. I think it's something many families struggle with.
Yeah, that's right. Because we are all busy, right? All in our day-to-day life, we're busy. And sometimes, even like sometimes the kids live overseas, or sometimes the seniors don't have a family at all, right? So we have to respect their independence, right? And try to enable them to have a good life and at the same time feel safe.
That's right. For those who haven't seen it, including myself, describe Birdhouse for us. If I'm not mistaken, it is actually small enough to be held in the hand. That's what I see in pictures. So how does something so small, Carlos, help with such a big worry?
Yeah, so Birdhouse is super easy and not intrusive. And basically, we try to keep it super simple. It's basically a motion sensor that is installed in the senior's home, usually at the place where they move around a lot, right? It could be the living room or the hallway. And then the sensor picks up their daily routine. And then our AI learns what is the normal pattern movement. Mm-hmm. And then if something seems off or different, then we send an alert to the caregivers through a platform, for example, like Telegram. Mm-hmm. And then that way they get notified, right? And then the main idea is also make it simple and not intrusive, so there is no camera, no microphone. It's just a simple motion detection.
So what do you define as off or different?
So we will see the different patterns, right? So, for example, I can tell you, let's say a senior, in average, when in their day-to-day life, they wake up, pass by the living room, go out, go to the kitchen, sit down and watch TV. So we count and learn that activity. So let's say in a normal day, they have like 20, 30 interactions, right, where they're passing by the sensor. So, but let's say when a senior is sick, they will stay more in the bed. They wouldn't move so much, right? So at that point, let's say we detect maybe it's just 3, 4, 5 interactions. So the sensor will detect, like the AI is going to detect this kind of difference compared to the daily routine. And then at that moment is when we're going to trigger the alert. And of course, we're going to, at the same time, detect if there is no motion at all, then that's going to be detected as well.
Okay, that approach makes a lot of sense. Simple, non-intrusive, and still effective. I imagine privacy is a big concern for seniors. So no wearables or buttons to press?
So there is no wearables. We added recently a feature for having a SOS or a button. Mm-hmm. That is an add-on feature. But to us, it's also very important for like the part of not being intrusive. To keep it very simple for the senior, you just install it there and continue with your day-to-day life. They don't need to learn how to use a new app, or they don't need to wear a wearable and have to remember all the time that they need to wear the wearable and charge it. So the idea is to keep it simple and avoid affecting their daily routine.
Okay, so it quietly watches over them. Do you have to place it, in a particular position to be able to capture the movements?
Yeah, so our preference, right, is to install it in an area where they have more movement. And that would be usually the living room. So the living room is where they will be passing more often. And that's where the more data we can collect is the better we will get to know their parents' activity, right? If you put it in a place where they're not usually passing by, then the data is not going to be so good quality.
I see.
But we work, so when we go to install it, we go together with the activation center staff, and then we take the time to get to know the seniors, to get to know like where they usually move around the house, and then we also listen to their preference as well. And then we adapt the solution to the senior preference as well.
And what's the feedback from them? Are they comfortable with having a device watching over them quietly?
Oh, yeah, they're very comfortable. So most importantly, we explain what the device is, that we're just capturing motion data, that the data is all kept secure. And then after that, we just need to tell them, the only thing they need to change in their habits is don't turn it off. Because sometimes they want to save electricity,
Yes.
but so other than that, they feel super comfortable. They say, we got some feedback, they could keep it there, all year long. They even don't notice it. So they are pretty comfortable with it, yeah.
Okay. Now, Carlos, Birdhouse made headlines when it won one of the top 5 places in a citizen hackathon organized by Open Government Products just last year in 2024. Since then, what has the journey been like? Has it been tested in real homes or active aging centers?
Yeah, so during the hackathon, we had already a pilot testing with in Active Aging Center. That one, it was with 3-4 seniors. And then after that, we expanded the pilot. We went to a Chong Hua Tong Active Aging Center, where we are actively right now running a pilot with 3 seniors. And then right now, we are also about to start a paid pilot with New Hope Community Services. That is going to be with 15 seniors that we are going to be installing the device.
Okay, has there been any tweaks or upgrades based on real-world use?
Yeah, so after the hackathon, we focus on upgrading and improving our software and hardware. So we develop a better interface for the dashboard, for the Telegram bot Telegram AI assistant. And then we also added support for multiple sensors and for the push button. And the other thing that we heard after, talking to the seniors and the community is that many of them, they don't have Wi-Fi. So we also added some add-on that allows to provide Wi-Fi to the device.
Okay, and practically, is it expensive to produce such a device?
There is a cost. So there is 2 costs. There is one in the hardware. So the hardware is not very expensive. And then after that, there is a monthly fee. And that's because we are constantly collecting data that goes to the cloud. And then we're running our AI on the servers. And then providing support also as part of our service. We ourselves, whenever there is an alert or something unusual, we also help to track and contact the seniors directly, right? So there is a part on that as well, yeah.
Okay. Are you working with any partners to perhaps reduce the cost?
Well, we work with AIC and with SG Enable and with community, with the active aging centers and the community services, right? So, for example, with AIC, we are trying to identify some kind of grants that they can, that the active aging centers can apply to so that we can cover these for the seniors. For example, with New Hope Community Services, they themselves did some raising and donations to get basically to cover the cost. So the seniors, they don't need to pay. It's actually, we're getting that, yeah.
That's good, that's good. What has stood out to you most since bringing Birdhouse into real-life settings?
Well, I think for me, it's a really rewarding experience, getting to know the seniors, going to install the device in their home, and actually you become many times their friend. And it's also to see how they trust us and how they feel that there is someone there for them when they need to. So that's something that is meaningful for us. Yeah.
I think that really underscores how important it is to have people behind the tech. The human connection is still at the heart of it all. So have you heard any stories from families or seniors that really stayed with you? Share with us some examples.
Oh, well, there is one of the partners that are working on for providing the Wi-Fi solution to the seniors. He recently contacted me asking me about Birdhouse, and he said that his mom actually fell down recently.
Okay.
And then when this happened, he actually thought about Birdhouse. And then he came and say like whether he can buy directly from like Birdhouse from me, right? Like right now I'm partnering with the AACs, right? So I'm not really selling like retail, but he was actually feeling the need. So that was kind of like experience, like that.
That must have been such a rewarding moment for you and your team, right? Knowing you can help ease someone's worry in such a personal way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so what's next for Birdhouse? Are you scaling it up, looking at ways to adapt it for others?
Yeah. So we are trying to expand to more active aging centers and community services centers. So this A New Hope community service is the first of many like sites that they have. So we are like working hard to get this going. At the same time, we are going to be participating in the National Library. There is going to be some exhibitions, so Birdhouse is going to be showcased there. And we are also working with SG Enable to expand this for persons with disabilities. So right now, 1 out of 4 persons with disabilities is taken care by an elderly. And then that's sometimes actually the elderly has like some health problems, and then they are the caregivers of the PWD, right, person with disabilities. So it's actually by taking care of the senior, we are taking care of the person with disabilities. So we are also like exploring using Birdhouse to benefit this community as well.
Wow, this is truly socially impactful technology. I'm very excited to see how far this idea could go and how many more lives you might touch in the future with Birdhouse. And Birdhouse is such a great reminder also that even the smallest technology can have a big heart and a big impact. Carlos, thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey with us today.
Thank you so much for having me again. Have a great day.
That's what good tech is all about, I suppose. Technology with a human touch, making lives better. Now, I'm just thinking, if you know a story like Birdhouse, tell us, and maybe we'll feature it right here on Good Tech. Lots more to come on the Afternoon Update. Keep it locked here on Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.